Dave, my friend.
Yes.
It's another podcast. It's another movie that we're going to be breaking down.
Cannot wait.
And yet another movie about AI.
Yeah.
But,
we seem to be a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, at least me.
Yeah.
Earlier in the night, you told Alexa to turn off the living room light, which kind of freaked me out.
You were like, do you like being watched? Do you like being
Do you like having
to?
a spy in your home? Because I went and I saw the light, and I'm somewhat particular about lighting. I don't know why. Maybe it's the natural director in me.
Yeah, of course.
But I turned off the lamp, and it goes, turn that back on, my good sir. And I did. And then you commanded Alexa to turn it off for us. And she did so.
Be careful. Don't say her name too loud.
know.
She'll interrupt the show right now. And
She will. Now, Amazon is
lights.
listening, right?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. So when you're telling your wife, this is amazing. And
Have you found
kids.
that when you talk about something in the and then you'll see an ad on your phone that you didn't even search for?
yeah.
It's the scariest thing.
Hey, you might like a gun to kill your wife.
Oh God.
50% off.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I've never
Interested
gotten
in
that,
killing your
but-
children? Try this gas chamber.
Oh my God. So yeah. So we're doing her. No better way to transition than that.
There is none. There is nowhere to go.
Yeah.
We are also drinking this amazing Back to the Future beer.
Back to the Future from the guys at Procrastination Brewing. They're a local brewery out of Tampa.
Amazing.
Definitely support them. Help them out on Instagram.
A nice
and
multi-frothy brew. It's delicious.
And again, what better name for a beer than Back to the Future? It's movie related.
Yeah.
We're a movie podcast, and we are procrastinators as well.
Absolutely.
We decide what movie we're going to do 3 days before we record.
I'm like Paulie. I don't move unless I need to. Same kind of deal.
So yeah, we got hooked up with some delicious beer from those guys.
Yeah,
so
great
Procrastination
stuff.
Brewing,
Check them
out. Yep. And so again, we're doing Her from 2013.
Yeah, this
starring
is my first viewing.
It is.
Absolutely. First time I've seen this movie. This is one you've been talking about.
I know.
This one you nominated for our top 50, and I said, I haven't seen this one. So
haven't seen this.
yeah. So here we are.
I could not allow it.
Sorry, I got on you. So
Yeah, and you interrupted. It's okay. We're working. This is how we roll.
you got to deal with my work friends.
Yeah, I feel like you're
kind of annoying.
You're the robot in this. Starring Joaquin Phoenix, directed and written by Spike Jonze. Spike Jonze won an original screenplay for this movie. Also starring Amy Adams, Scarlett Johansson.
And a million other people who you've seen, right?
Just Chris Pratt's in this.
Olivia Wilde.
Oh, yeah, Olivia Wilde, yeah.
Great here for what she
the
does.
5 minutes she's in the movie, yeah.
Very enchanting. But yeah, lots of major. Actually, the guy who is Amy Adams, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, but I thought that was Aaron Eckhart. And it's a sort of like a lookalike.
Yeah, it definitely looks like him.
His boyfriend.
But Dave, it's not him.
It's not him.
It's not
Well, I had to
him.
look it up to see, is that Aaron Eckhart? No.
No, not so much.
Now, Spike Jonze, I don't know what do you think of him as a director. He's done a lot.
He did,
similar to David Fincher, Spike Jonze has done a ton of music videos on his credit. Same thing here. I mean, far more music videos than feature films. I've just got Spike Jonze IMDb up. It looks like, as far as I could tell, his first feature film was Being John Malkovich.
Yeah,
Have you seen that?
Very quirky,
What
very
quirky, charitable. What the hell is this movie?
And also, he's been involved with Jackass. He's been in. I think he was in Jackass the movie. He was in the show.
Oh, really?
He was. Yeah, he was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a lot to do with Jackass too.
Tenacious D credit. Fat Boy Slim. I'm moving along here. Bjork, Beck. Oh, Adaptation. I've never seen that movie.
I started watching it not too long ago and never finished it. But
the best you could say about it? I was kind of hoping you had seen that one.
I'm sorry. No, never did finish it. Not that I didn't like it, but
What about Where the Wild Things Are of 2009? Have you seen that?
I never saw that one.
I saw it. I think I liked it.
You think you liked it?
I don't have like I couldn't tell you, like, if you gave me 30 seconds to say what is this movie about. I don't know. All I know, it's a boy and a large creature.
I mean,
beyond that, I don't.
The book obviously is the.
I'm not familiar with the book, so
okay.
I couldn't tell you more than that.
Because you had no childhood, as you said in our last episode about
correct.
not seeing Toy Story and Aladdin.
Yes, that is true. So I liked the movie, I think, and didn't see. I couldn't recall it, but I thought it was good. And then I think Her. So what was that? 3-4 feature films, and that's it.
Yeah. He's not. He hasn't done many.
Lady Gaga credit.
Feature Lady Gaga credit. You did a.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Gaga
She did another music video for her.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking through here.
Yeah. No. Yeah. But I mean, the main reason we chose this movie is because we're huge Joaquin Phoenix fans.
Absolutely.
And obviously with the Joker coming out, the trailers coming out for that, thought, why not give Joaquin some love? And this is the movie we settled on.
Settled on.
Sorry.
Well, this is one I had. What it actually was, it's not settled. This was a battle between one movie, Her, this one that I had not seen that Ben had, and Gladiator, another Joaquin Phoenix that Ben had not seen. And Ben wins, so we saw Her. We're doing Her now. That's really what it came to be. We didn't happen upon it.
So this is what we're doing.
Ben's lack of comfort with Gladiator meant that I had to stretch and do Her.
I mean, I've been saying we needed to do Her a lot longer than you've been saying we needed to do Gladiator.
True, and you nominated this for top 50, so I needed to go back and see it, and I'm glad that I did. This one, two quick things I want to say about the way the movie starts is this sort of discordant music score that I think levels out as the movie goes on.
Yeah.
But in the beginning is very strange, and I think this is a cue to tell you that things are not normal. What you're about to see, things are off from what you're expecting.
Yeah, I love when filmmakers do this, is, set the tone for the movie and, put you in that little mood before the movies. Kubrick did this a lot, Spielberg's done this.
Yeah.
Put a little score in there to get you in the mood for something.
A bit of Clockwork Orange with the music, maybe?
Yeah.
In the opening?
Definitely.
Something off?
Yeah. So it definitely gets your mind ready, gets you in that movie watching mood. Because sometimes when movies start, right away, you're just like, I'm not ready for this yet. I need to get. It's going to take me a while to get into the story. Whereas I love that technique of,
another one that does this just off the top of my head. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah,
the score on that sets you up.
Yep.
There's just a note. A single note or two that are in something that tells you, okay, this is the frame of mind you need to be in.
Right.
And that's sort of like almost like a John Williams signature. And I know he didn't do this score clearly, but I like that though. It's definitely, I get information from the opening music where I'm normally not, I don't always get it. So I appreciate that here.
Definitely. Yeah. It's kind of an ominous tone. But at the same time,
it's like two chords maybe going back and forth, but they're like out of tune.
Yeah, it's like futuristic in a way.
Yeah.
And then it's just weird. You get that music, and then it starts with a close up of Joaquin Phoenix, like talking. And obviously he's a letter writer. Then in this near distant future, he just talks the letter and or talks the words, and it writes out a letter. Yeah,
it's handwritten greeting cards.
Right.
It's a little strange.
Yeah.
The second thing I want to say, this is almost this movie is nearly, despite the big cast of famous actors, it's pretty much Joaquin Phoenix only on screen for large parts of the movie.
Yeah, this is Joaquin's movie. I mean, and this is him at his finest. I mean, especially because he's acting against someone's voice. It's
very difficult.
Scarlett Johansson is the actress, and actually, a little fun fact: she was not who he was acting against.
Really?
In this movie, yeah. She wasn't even. She was put in post production.
She did just voiceovers later.
Yeah, she wasn't originally supposed to be the actress. The actress who I just had her name. She's from Minority Report. She was one of the the
precogs. I don't have the name.
But yeah, she was
a computer. I don't have her name off myself.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about.
Samantha would have it.
So he was. Yeah,
Samantha from her would have it. But yeah,
so she was originally. Later?
Yeah. And
wow, that's funny because they seem to have chemistry, but it's like a fake chemistry, which sort of keeps with the movie.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's just that's just a little fun factoid. But yeah, even so, I mean, acting with just a voice is got to be so difficult, and Joaquin Phoenix pulls it off amazingly in this. I mean, it's just
all his facial expressions, his change in tone of voice. I mean, both of us are massive Joaquin Phoenix fans. Love him as an actor. He's great. Can't wait to see him as the Joker upcoming.
Oh my God, it's gonna be.
I mean, I think this is sort of the genesis of us wanting to do this film.
Yeah,
to analyze this performance.
He has such a range, man. It's just it's insane. Whereas in this, he's like a lonely guy. He's kind of in isolation. He's just like kind of attached to his phone, and with the news and everything, and he's in a future where you can just command your phone to, which we're kind of in that now, where you just say read emails. Delete, when he doesn't want to hear that. And,
it's sort of it's a future that's distant but not too distant.
Right. Yeah.
20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
I could see that. Yeah.
Depending on, you don't know how things evolve, right? I mean, we couldn't have thought of in the year 2000, you couldn't have thought of what we have now, right?
Right.
And although we sort of live in the same world, how we interact with that world has changed a lot by our smartphones, but we still have to, walk and even like that little earpiece. I mean, that's the same. You can get a Bluetooth earpiece now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, so it's
not that much different.
Not much different at all. I mean, it's it's definitely.
But the style. How about the style? We should talk about that.
So the style is great. So it's
very retro.
Retro. It's like supposed
70s,
to be
80s.
Supposed to be set in the future, and it's like 70s, 80s style.
Mustaches are back. In favor for some reason. Why? Never. I mean, I just hate the mustache.
Yeah, it's terrible. But it just it fits the tone of this movie. It fits the style. I love the production design and the costume design. I think that's a great element to the film. I just think it adds something to this. And
there's a strange familiarity.
Yeah.
I think the choice of sorry, I don't want to step on you, but the choice of a retro fashion on top of futuristic tech is interesting on its own. Putting those two together, you have like one is past, one is future, and then you mash them and it feels like a real present.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's what I get for this movie. This movie is more for me. First of all, I love the quotes in it, and then other than that, when I try to explain it to people, I love the quotes in it, and it's just a feeling. Like it's
as hard to explain as it is for the character in the movie to explain to other people in some ways.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he goes through that thing when he's talking with Samantha, the AI, that he had a hard time, talking with his ex-wife, telling her his problems, and that something was wrong. Something was wrong, but when she would ask, he would say nothing is wrong. So similar to that. But
so what's going on here is the main character is a divorcee, a depressed divorcee, but technology allows you the option to install an operating system who is an artificial intelligence who has its own consciousness that can talk to you. Now, he's sad, he's depressed, and this goes on for a bit, and you may hate me for this critique, but it happens in almost every movie we talk about. I feel like this movie's about 20, 25 minutes too long.
Okay.
I feel like this thing could have been... This is about a 2 hour and 5 minute movie that could be an hour and 40 minute.
Yeah, I guess that's why I was saying kind of this movie is a feeling. And
sometimes that feeling, I just want to scratch it and get rid of it.
Yeah, well, you're a time guy. Your time is very valuable. But yeah, I think that's where I was. It's all right. No, yeah, you're a time guy, and again, that's kind of goes back to my point of it being a feeling, and again, his inability to express his feelings and to keep everything in.
He's lost connection.
Yeah. In this movie, I can see it losing connection with people, but again, it's a feeling. It's the look of the movie, and it's just the score. Like everything just keeps...
And the score there's many moments, many beautiful moments in this film, which are, I mean, perfectly lit. The camera's in the perfect spot.
Right.
The actors are doing the perfect thing. And in a lot of what's a really cool thing, and both of us like this, is score. The score is the same. The audience and the actor is experiencing the same score. Right. In other words, what you're hearing is actually something that's going on, in the ear of the actor, not just something outside of the actor.
Right, because at one point we hear this like piano music, and he says like, "What's that?" You know? And she's like, "Oh, it's just a song I'm working on." It's just like, it's really cool.
Yes, and the she, of course, is the operating system that I was talking about earlier. He installs this operating system. He doesn't even know really what he's doing. It's sort of like that, this thing can help you, and it's really, really smart. It asks him like 2 or 3 questions.
Yeah.
How do you feel? And there's something about how do you feel about your mother?
Right.
I mean, if somebody asked you that, like, what is your relationship with your mother? And the first 30 seconds of your response is like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
That would take me like 20 minutes to describe my relationship with my mother, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not, how do you distill that? But the computer can kind of, discover whatever that is. And whatever your response is, it already knows how to like categorize that into you're that person.
Right, yeah. I mean, again, it kind of shows right away just how advanced this technology is and just...
And you get a choice of male or female. What would you choose?
A female.
Now, so here we go. What are you looking for? Why male versus female?
For me, less intimidating, more comforting.
Because I struggled with this myself.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's someone who's he's going through a divorce and
he's
is
wanting
lonely.
A female figure.
And it's like, if you're lonely, why not a female figure? But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question. Why would I pick female? But yeah, I mean, for me, it's more of the I do better with females. I feel less intimidated. I feel
you
more,
feel intimidated talking to me.
I think
as a man?
like I'm like sweating right now talking to you. But
the Amy Adams. Well, I mentioned this because the Amy Adams character in the movie, she chooses a female operating system.
That's true. Yeah. Now, so what would you pick?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends where you are in your life, like you said. Now, if I chose a man, because I'm not gay, I would. That male OS would be my friend.
Right.
He would be my ally to do what I need to do in my life versus a female where you can see where this might go. Well, it's harder for men and women to be friends. If I chose a male OS, that wouldn't be an option.
Well, when I'm initially starting this though, I'm not thinking this is going to be a potential mate. This is...
So it's like Siri for you?
Yeah. I mean...
Siri, you're not going to be Siri's boyfriend.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's... and I think that's why they even show hesitation with him, too, is like, he says, I guess female, It's
not
like...
clear, it's not told to him, you will form a deep emotional bond with this operating system, so now you must choose.
Exactly. But so yeah, I mean, my main answer is a female because I'm less intimidated and it's more comforting. This is something I'm going to use every day, all the time. I think I would want a female voice.
I'd choose a male.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because I'm married and I don't need another female in my life.
I don't think that's not the. I don't.
I want a buddy. That's what I want. I want a buddy that's gonna help me be like, good job, bro. Like, dude, you got to go do this today. Like, all right, great. Let's make sure you're doing that. You're doing this. You're taking care of your wife. Like I want like a that'd be more like a life coach.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'd want that more to be male than
maybe
female.
That's why, like you were saying with Amy Adams' character, that's why she chooses a female, because she just wants a friend and, just wants, someone else to talk to, because she already had a boyfriend at that time. Or a husband at that time. And
that feels like a manipulation.
Yeah, I can see that. Now that you say that, thinking about if it would be a friend, then I can see that. But No, I'm still picking female as a married
fine.
man. As
Change your mind.
I'm still.
But you know me, I always have these little questions.
No, it's a very unique question, and it's definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that question, so I'm glad you brought that up.
So he chooses female, and it's the sultry ScarJo.
Yeah, yep.
This isn't Siri.
Yeah, not so much. And it's I just love when she first appears and just how natural she is, and just like
hi.
Yeah, just hi. Yeah. And then like she's making these little
bashful.
It's so like just natural and like just sounds so human and makes him comfortable right away, and making jokes with him, kind of teasing him a little.
She's embarrassed a little like by his questions.
Yeah,
it becomes a flirting thing. He's so desperate.
Right.
I mean, we learned that he's, divorced for what, about a year?
A year. Well, separated.
But he's had divorce papers for a long time, and he hasn't signed.
Won't sign them because they even have a conversation about that, and he says, for her it's just a piece of paper, but for me it's more than that.
Seems like the marriage was really good
up
until the point where he maybe just kind of got out of the relationship, wasn't present. I think something he said right.
Yeah, I mean, it's, they were constantly changing, and that's one of the quotes in the movie, growing and changing, and the other can't, changing can be scary to the other person, and I think that was kind of scaring him, her changing and, growing as a person, scared him.
This is a big theme in the movie, change, or what I'll just call evolution.
Right.
Which is that we all change.
Right.
No, nothing is static. When you marry someone, you're 10 years, I'm 10 years.
Yep.
The person that you married 10 years ago or dated 11, 12 years ago, whatever, you're not the same people.
Right.
And you have to grow together.
Exactly.
And if you're not like staying on track and keeping up, sort of neck and neck as you're running through that horse race of life sort of thing. Now, that's evolution.
And that's what he says. He says, sorry, I'm going to be quote
Go for it.
Maester tonight. That was liberating for her. It was exciting to see her grow and both of us grow and change together. But that's also the hard part, growing without growing apart or changing without it scaring the other person.
Right.
There's so many great quotes in this movie. It's just so that makes so much sense to me. That. Again, both of you want to grow, but like, is that growth gonna tear you apart? It's and that's eventually what we see at the end. With him and Samantha.
This movie is loaded with. Here's an example of the point I'm making, and then I'm going to show you another example of that same point I'm making.
Yeah,
and it happens between the relationship. Yeah, exactly. In that relationship. The AI, Samantha, or the AI, OS, AI, operating system, artificial intelligence, same thing. She is evolving much in the same way as Joaquin Phoenix Theodore. His wife evolves, and then she divorces him, and then he gets an OS who then evolves way past him, and then she leaves him again.
Leaves him, yeah.
And he needs to figure out something.
Like what's going on? Like
now,
what?
How do you... Now, that's just... Is that just life? Like, is the movie just saying the artificial intelligence is sort of not bad? You need to sort of adapt to it. And this one, I don't know if it's so like in favor of it. This one feels like a critique of technology.
Yeah, critique. Yeah, like it could grow beyond us.
It makes life harder.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the sequel to this movie could be Terminator 2.
Yeah, you don't know. Like wherever they're off in some other world talking to their own operating systems and their own artificial intelligence.
Creating their own operating systems based off of man that's been dead for years.
Yeah, deciding that these people are lame, we don't need them anymore. And it's hard to square that. And I guess Theodore needs to find what's real. And it kind of comes in the Amy Adams character.
Yeah, it does. Before we lose that train of thought, I think it does have to do with our relationship with technology. Like, I think this movie definitely is heavily touching on that. I mean, people are attached to their phones. They're, constantly looking down. Every time we see Theodore, walking down the street. He's walking in the opposite direction of people, and everyone he's walking past is looking down at their phone.
He's like wading through this, and this is a problem now, and it was a problem in 2013. I don't imagine it's going to be a problem that goes away anytime soon.
Right.
But it does feel like a warning rather than a celebration.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I mean it's cool, that these things exist and it can be used for great things. We were talking about social media, last episode. It's a great tool. It's a great, device to use, but it's also one of the worst things that's ever happened to humanity. It's definitely a double-edged sword, in a way.
So in this movie, I'm kind of watching when he has this earpiece in, which is when he's connected to Samantha, versus when he's not. And I'm trying to find a contrast. Is life better without the earpiece? Is life better with the earpiece? And I'm sort of left ambiguous on this. Yeah. Which one is better than the other? And I want to get your thoughts on this Olivia Wilde date.
Yeah, this was...
What did you make of this?
Strange.
It's not a very long part of the movie, but he gets set up with this woman. They go out to a bar. They get drinks. They've got great chemistry.
They have a connection. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, it's like
they're laughing.
They both admit they're drunk.
Right.
And,
it's not just the writing. I mean, the actors have great chemistry together.
Yeah.
They go up somewhere and they start making out. Yeah. And then it gets to the point where they're going to have sex. And she's like... I need to know that you're not just you're going to leave me and you're just going to basically bang me and never call me again. And he's like,
yeah.
Well, like, how do you respond? Yeah. I mean, well, you're willing to have sex with me tonight, so
right.
I didn't. There was no like that. I don't know how he handles that. And then he basically says like, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't do this, which seems reasonable, rather than lying to her.
Right.
And then she's like, you're a creep. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like.
So her jumping to the conclusion to call him a creep was a little much.
If anything, he was being like deferential to her and her like concern.
But at the same time, if he was truly interested, it's like, well, how about we don't do this now and I call you tomorrow or I call you, a couple days from now.
So is there something in the back of his mind where he's like, I'll just go back to talk to Samantha?
Yeah. Well, I think he knows that this isn't his girl. He wanted to screw somebody, as he said in his conversation with Samantha right after the date, and just wanted someone to want to be with him in that moment and wanted to be with someone in that moment.
Okay, so it was cinematically beautiful, but for the character, not necessarily as great as we saw. Like, we found more meaning watching it than meant to him, or it was a temptation.
That's a good question. Because he's I mean, I don't know.
I mean, why? Well, her interrogation is it is strange, right? I mean, if you're putting your hands down my pants and then you're gonna ask me, are you gonna stick around and be my boyfriend? Like, you got to think a little ahead, girl.
Right? Yeah.
Like, you got to kind of plan your moves here.
Yeah.
Like, and not
so I don't know cinematically if that was meant for us to show him that like. Oh, he's kind of feeling something for the Samantha girl. Like
I think he was.
Okay. Yeah.
But then, like, her response was insufficient, whereas Samantha would have come up with a better response to him. So, like, making it less painful, less awkward, at least in that moment, in his mind. It's sort of like when you're talking... Sorry, I'm still going here.
Go.
It's sort of like old school, like, I forget the IRL girl in real life. I'll just go chat with this girl on Twitter or something. I mean, I
think that's kind of I mean, what's real? I think that's kind of the theme of this movie. Like, what is real love? Like, what is that? Like,
I think it's making a statement that we discount real life in favor of fake life because fake life is so much easier for us. Yeah. That's what I think that is. They both bail so fast. So irrationally, in my mind, they'll just go do internet porn or go to the OS and talk to them because they're not going to hurt me.
I think it goes a lot can be answered to your question about what happened with this date in the conversation right after the date he's having with Samantha. Like, again, I wanted someone to bang me. I wanted someone to want to bang me. I wanted to bang someone, but. obviously he wasn't feeling that. Like, he just wanted that human connection for that moment.
Well, he could have had it, but you gotta not be a baby.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That wasn't even his fault, but I feel like it was a failure of both of them. And I feel like, I mean, look, I'm out of the dating game. I'm out of the hookup game.
And I actually have the
Go
same
for
here. Well, the room's spinning because I drank too much because I wanted to get drunk and have sex. There was something sexy about that woman because I was lonely. Maybe just because I was lonely. I wanted somebody to bang me. I want somebody to want me to bang them. Maybe that would have filled this tiny little hole in my heart. Yeah. So that's what he was just looking for, just this filling this little void he had. You know?
I got you.
And but he said probably not because he knew it wouldn't totally fix this hole in his heart. He would bang her, and then the next morning he would still be upset that he's divorcing his wife.
Right, and he had the sense to not do that.
But right after that, it brings one of my this is now one of my favorite lines in any movie. Sometimes I think I have felt everything I'm ever going to feel, and from here on out, I'm not going to feel anything new, just lesser versions of what I've already felt.
That's great stuff. It really is great stuff.
That's probably in my top 10 movie lines now. Just
like I'm done.
It's like,
I can't be.
And it's realistic. It's like what if like everything good we felt in our life, like what if we're never gonna feel that good ever again? What
right.
if and Samantha tries to assure him that no, you will feel that again. But yeah, I mean it's very like. Depressing thought, and it's very melancholy, but at the same time it's like it hit me. It's just like, what if I'm I've felt everything I'm gonna feel, and it's sad,
like I've maxed out,
right? Yeah.
And now I'm just kind of drifting along,
and I love that scene. I mean, and Joaquin Phoenix just blows it out of the park with this performance. I mean, he's like,
but you're also getting things like an OS or video games that are maxing out your feelings. Or whatever those things are, that they are sort of unnatural.
Right. Yeah.
And they are sort of like a drug where you've all, like you said, all the emotions that I felt have been felt. But they weren't like really real. Like I didn't experience them in a natural way.
Yeah.
I didn't get rage, anger, hate, pain, depression in a natural way. I experienced them in a less natural way.
Yeah.
They were artificial, and now I feel empty because they were so intense, even though they were weird. How do I get back into the real world? And I think that's part of what's going on in this date, which is they don't really know how to talk to one another.
Yeah, talk to each other and
resolve.
Right.
At the end of the night, you're gonna have sex or you're not. Like you don't have to become enemies. You don't also have to
I mean, it's like, oh, so you, it's like, so you wanted to have sex on the first date? Like what? Like she seemed like the crazy one at the end of that.
Yeah, like she wanted it, but then she wanted like some sort of a signed document that said, "I'm gonna call you."
You're gonna be my boyfriend now, right? Like,
and this is the problem. When I think you mentioned at the top, the evil of social media,
right? Yeah,
is that we've lost the ability to act as humans to one another face to face. This is part. I think this is showing a symptom of a larger problem.
It's showing that, but it's weird because it's showing us that juxtaposition because there's the juxtaposition of us being in love with technology, but at the same time, him being in love with technology is the most real thing he's felt in forever.
It's crazy.
It's like an organic relationship that actually forms, and it has nothing to do with...
It gets him out of his hole.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with outer beauty or anything like that. It's just two people talking, two people connecting.
It's safe.
Intellectually, yes, safe. And I'm not going to lie... Like right after that scene where he says that, he says like, I wish you were in this room, and they start, talking to each other.
They have
like,
OS sex.
Yeah. That was beautiful to me.
I found it strange.
I can see finding it strange. Like if I'm just watching, like, cause I was watching it with my wife and I was like, there's certain movies where I watch and I'm just like, when I watch it with other people, I'm like, I'm kind of I'm kind of embarrassed.
Like your dad's in the room.
Yeah, I'm like blushing or a little. But like if I'm just like watching something in isolation, I'm just like, I honestly think this is like one of the most genuine love scenes ever in a movie. You know, like,
I do see it. I
mean, it's weird. I know. I understand the weird part and everything.
Well, it's not pretending that it's not weird.
Right.
The movie, which one thing I do like about the movie, it never acts like, oh, this is supposed to be normal.
Right.
And if you don't like it, you're stupid. Like, or you're a bigot or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it never pretends. I don't think this movie ever says this isn't strange.
Yeah.
And all the things you're seeing aren't, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
It doesn't walk around that fact.
Especially when
his emotions are real.
Yeah,
and that
definitely.
interaction is real. And when you have her responding to you, she is hyper intelligent, giving you the exact response that you need in that moment, where a normal human being, as we saw in the Olivia Wilde character, is not giving you, she's giving you a human response because she's scared. She's unsure of herself. Samantha is not going to give you that response because she's not human. She's going to give you the perfect response every time. And there you go, having your phone or your OS sex, or whatever you call it.
Yeah, because when he's having the phone sex in the beginning of the film, it's like totally just like
it's off.
Yeah, he's not feeling any connection. He's trying to think of that pregnant chick he saw earlier.
Yeah, they got the dead cat strangling me, and that's how she gets off.
Speaking of lots of actresses, the girl he's having phone sex with is Kristen Wiig.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, she's
great.
great.
One of the first people he talked to was Bill Hader. Like he was that weird guy on the phone.
Yeah. Okay, so he's just. I saw him credited. I'm like, I don't remember seeing him. He's not a man you typically miss.
And his ex-wife is Rooney Mara. Anyone familiar with her? And they're actually they're an item in real life now.
Oh, okay.
Joaquin Phoenix and Rooney Mara.
But
anyways,
I guess what I want to say as a human being, this is unfair reality.
Yeah.
You get responses that aren't. I mean, of course you get bad things, but this is like not. It's not a fair playing field.
Yeah, and it's that's so interesting that you bring up how it's Samantha's going to give you everything you want because she's programmed to do that, and
she's not going to get scared and slink away.
We're almost manipulated as an audience because we kind of feel like she's giving him genuine response. And there's even a line in the movie that says, are the feelings real or just our programming? And that goes with like
it's
obviously
tough.
Samantha, like are these feelings real of hers or just her programming?
She does evolve. I feel like it's both.
Yeah.
Right? Because she even makes a comment saying, I've exceeded what they thought I could do, or something like that.
Yeah. But I think it also goes to humans, too. Like, humans are programmed in a way, just by our environment. And just
definitely.
what we grew up with. Like, we have to evaluate.
You never thought you'd fall in love with an operating system.
Right.
But yet we do.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's totally unnatural, but the feelings are real.
Yeah. And now, as humans, like, are we in love with this specific thing actually, or is it just in our programming to love this specific thing? Are we just trained to do that? And this is like,
So are we sort of doing the stimulus response in a way a computer would do?
Right.
Yeah. It's the way the OS is answering in the same way that they're answering what you think you want to hear. You're responding in the same way that they want you to hear.
Yeah. And
so Samantha is making him a bit of programmed, right?
Yeah.
She's sort of learned his responses in the same way he might learn hers. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's interesting to think
and then what's in front of him this whole time, which shows his personal growth by the end of the movie, but is Amy, which is Amy Adams. Her character's name is Amy.
One last thing I want to mention. Yeah. Sorry, when they have the sex. The morning after is a little awkward.
Yeah, he's like, so last night.
Hey, so you got my coffee? Or, we want to really talk about last night? Or, I love that. Yeah. It was a total awkward walk of shame by the OS.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of humor in this movie too. I love when he's talking to Chris Pratt and they're talking about doing a double date. And
you should wear those high-waisted pants, by the way, going forward.
I just might.
And a mustache.
But Joaquin brings up that or Theodore, I'm sorry, brings up to Chris Pratt's character that, she's an operating system, and Chris Pratt's just like, cool.
Yeah, let's go out to
We should go to Catalina.
Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah, Catalina wine mixer, exactly. But yeah, I think the what's in front of him this whole time is this Amy, obviously. I mean, that's what's...
What'd you think of this character and this performance?
Amy Adams, I think, is great in everything. I mean, she's just a great actress.
Yeah.
This character is interesting. It's...
I'm left wanting a little bit more from the character. Not necessarily the acting, but what the character is doing and saying. I want a little more.
This whole documentary she's doing is weird.
I don't care about it.
It's weird. I do love another line in the movie, another quote. She says, you know what? I can never overthink everything and find a million ways to doubt myself, or I can overthink. And since Charles left, I've been really thinking about the part of myself, and I've just come to realize, here's the line, we're only here briefly, and while I'm here, I want to allow myself joy. And this comes after him telling her that, hey, I'm actually dating my operating system. So she's actually supportive of him. This is the one real life person in his life that's supporting him, and and she's right there.
Great acting by both.
Yeah,
and Joaquin Phoenix, his awkwardness of in this spot saying, because she's talking like, yeah, I heard some even date their OS, and he's like, well, I've looked up statistically, it's quite rare for the OS to date their date their owners or whatever, and then he kind of revealed, and she's like, oh, wow. And I can kind of, sort of imagine if that was me, and that, how do you explain? Because even in that world, in our world, it's strange,
right?
But in that world, even though it's less strange, it's still weird. He's not. You can't just blurt out with it, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of a new technology and sort of ways to find themselves. And I guess that's sort of what this movie's trying to say. There's like a new version of humanity going on, existing within this technology.
Definitely.
And while I'm so quick to say, it sucks and it's wrong, I mean, we have to live within it. I'm not giving up my smartphone.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, I'm a guy who's on Twitter far longer than I would want to tell you I'm on it. And I don't, tweet constantly, but and I lurk for hours just reading stuff.
Well, Twitter's how I get my news.
It's horrible.
That's how I know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And also, it's a great place to go after an episode of Game of Thrones. There's hilarious memes afterwards.
What about spoilers?
And, spoiler. It's as long as you watched it, you're fine.
But
anyways,
well, it's sort of about the emotionally vulnerable in this movie, but it's not just that, right? I mean, I guess unless we just want to say blanket that we're all emotionally vulnerable, but technology does sort of have that comforting thing that it can fill that void. But I think to the credit of this movie, it's saying no. Technology still doesn't fill that void, although it's temporary, it's fleeting. It feels like it can, but in the end, you need that human connection, that human relationship.
Right.
The technology is just a little piece of it that might augment certain things, but it is not a solution for your human problem.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just an escape. It's just, it's not reality.
I was thinking this movie was going to tell, I don't know what it was about this, but I felt like the movie was going to have a different take and a different message.
Yeah.
That technology is the answer.
Yeah.
And it's okay, and embrace it. And I didn't get that at all. I don't know. Maybe that just was wrong in my impression, but a lot of movies do kind of have that, and I'm glad that this one this was more cautionary.
Yeah, it's definitely cautionary. I mean, it's just like, be careful. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you. Also, be careful who you love.
It's a temptation,
but it also is a human story. I mean, it's about
Absolutely.
He needs closure. I think that's a big part of the movie is, and he'll eventually get that closure in the end. But yeah, he definitely needs closure.
Well, that's actually a big thing going on in the movie is Samantha, the OS, is that's sort of his thing to get him where he needs to be. And it's interesting because he has a job as a handwritten greeting card writer.
Yeah.
And so what is this all about? I almost felt like to the people that hire this company, he's almost the OS version that she is to him.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that's a good point.
It's a bit of an analogy there. They're looking for someone to help their pain or their celebration, to fill in those gaps, to write that perfect thing for them. And then he's looking to Samantha to do sort of that same thing. For him.
And then but he's not finding much value in what he's doing, I don't think.
Yeah, which is wrong, I think.
It's definitely wrong. And then, she, contacts that publisher and they make a book of it. And then he gets the book in the mail after they break up and stuff. And it's like, it's almost like he grew,
he's
the way she did. He needed her to push her. He's the OS for the people he's writing letters for, and she's the OS for him. And, so he was able to get a book out of it. And, she grew into Terminator.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Skynet is going to kill you.
Exactly.
And the title of the book is called Letters from Your Life.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Is that sort of what he's all these OSs are providing for these people? Sort of, it's not in a greeting card format,
right? But
they kind of know everything, and that's sort of what he does, right?
Right.
He studies their lives and composes a 100-word thing. And that's what they do to him.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
The OS.
It doesn't show the pages or anything, but that would be interesting if it was 641 pages. Because that's how many people she's seeing.
Well, no, I think she's. Well, yeah. I thought that was the answer. Actually, I wrote this down. He asked how many she's talking to, and I have 8,316. And then I think he says in love with, and he says it's 641.
Yeah, 641. Yeah.
He's one of 641.
Yeah.
He's walking. He's like imagining, is it that guy? Is it that guy?
Exactly.
That guy?
Yeah, it's like, man, like here I am thinking, I'm the only one for you, but really you're just the only one for me. But
how do you feel about a highly intelligent thing, a being in your existing within your existence? I don't like it.
No, yeah, it's absolutely terrifying. I mean, it's. Yeah, I don't like it at all. It's
I don't like artificial intelligence.
Elon Musk keeps warning us that this is going to be our downfall.
Yeah, I mean, how do you say it's not, right? Because the one day it does, and then we're all dead. Isn't it worth?
Yeah, if they're able to evolve from their own experiences like humans are, like, we're screwed. Because this movie brings up mortality, it brings up how Theodore has a physical body that will eventually die someday, whereas Samantha does not.
No, they're gone.
Yeah,
they're uncontrollable.
Yeah,
and that's actually, I think, one of the things that like Elon Musk and others, is that by the time you realize what's happening, it's way too late.
Exactly.
They're so far. It's like the Avengers Ultron.
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly what I was thinking.
You're so far behind, and when it decides that there's no turning it off.
Right. Yeah.
That's not it.
Yeah.
Once it goes, you're done.
Unless we're willing to turn off all the power grids somewhere. Yeah.
But even then, it probably has a way to not let you do that.
That's true.
But just hope it likes you, and maybe hope that, like Blockbuster mentality, you're very funny, and it will enjoy your humor.
Right. Yes.
I will be very happy to try to send out jokes to the hyper intelligence so that it won't kill me.
Please don't kill me. Please don't hurt me.
The one thing that would be left would be me and you in a space capsule doing our show. Feel less humans.
Exactly. Before we get towards the end here, I want to talk about it seems like Samantha wants to spice things up a little, so she has Theodore, get this person who. It's not a prostitute, but she's willing.
Surrogate.
She wants to share in their love.
Shades
so basically,
of Blade Runner 2040. Well, actually, Blade Runner came afterwards.
Yeah, so I can definitely see where they got the inspiration. Obviously,
this is weird.
Yeah,
right?
very weird. A girl comes, puts a camera on her face.
I think the Blade Runner 2049 seems less weird than this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially because the girl is actually in her form, just.
Because in Blade Runner 2049 they project the Ana de Armas character on top of the girl, and this one it's just the girl with a voice.
Yeah,
and I don't know. She has the earpiece and then the thing on the lip. What? She's not speaking. What was that? I don't understand.
That was for Scarlett Johansson to see, or Samantha to see what she's seeing that way.
Oh, there was a camera.
Yeah, there was a camera. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, and then to hear.
But even so, I mean. Theodore rightly gets weirded out by it.
Absolutely, yeah. He's totally weirded out. He goes with the flow a little. When you start getting kissed and or getting a lap dance or whatever,
which is funny for his commitment to Samantha here.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, I got a chance to just bang this hot chick. Well, Samantha, he's truly committed to this operating system. Not just, that was really easy sex right there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because he has her from behind, and then she says, "Look at me and tell me you love me," and then she turns around. He's like,
"I can't go. I don't know what."
Because he says, "I love you" before she turns around. He says, "I love you," and then when she turns around, he's looking at this girl
I don't know what the hell.
But I think this is just to show that just what's real and what's not, what's And
it is strange. There is a juxtaposition between what's real, which is this girl who's for some reason really willing. Versus this OS who's trying to, it just does not mesh.
Yeah, definitely not. And then after
they are incompatible.
Yeah, after he sends her off in the cab, and then I think he's starting to realize that you're not real. This isn't real, because he starts getting annoyed that she's sighing. You don't need oxygen. Why are you sighing? Why are you making these breaths? And she's like, I don't know. What?
I also get a sense of this reminds me of my idea of crossing boundaries and having no boundaries. Mm-hmm. She sees everything. She knows everything.
Right, yeah.
And you don't really...
Watches him sleep.
Right. What are you doing,
almost
weirdo?
Hell 9000, in a sense.
Dave, I noticed you rolled over 10 times. Is there something wrong with your sleep pattern?
I just realized, actually, Amy Adams is recording her mother or mother-in-law sleeping.
Same deal there, yeah.
ScarJo is watching Theodore sleeping. I just
great
put that
connection.
Together.
I don't know what. Maybe it's just more parallel between what humans do and then.
Yeah, she said. Amy Adams said people are more free when they're dreaming. That's when they feel the most free is when they're sleeping and dreaming.
Oh, don't tell me this movie was a dream. No, that can't be.
No, definitely not. But yeah, I think it was just showing that Samantha could see him in his most free state. Which was sleeping. Now I understand why they brought up that documentary, because Samantha was
for that
watching
reason.
him. Yeah.
But I like that this whole thing gets you where you need to go, and we're not. Thankfully, it is that weird one awkward moment, and I don't know if you felt this thought as I did, where. This relationship between Theodore and Samantha felt very middle school, high school, where she's the only girl I know. Nobody really talks to her.
Right.
We're in this bubble, this relationship.
Right, yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I've been talking to these other OSs and this long dead philosopher, Alan something."
Yeah.
And I felt like that was a piercing of a bubble.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah.
In a sense where...
Now that you say that,
Theodore
I do,
thinks it's just him and her.
Right, yeah.
And she's only learning in his world.
Yeah.
But no, she's way out. She's gathering stuff from... And that feels like almost a betrayal.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
You can see that. You think it's this intimate thing you're sharing.
Yeah.
Like you said, in this bubble. And then to realize that she's off here and here and here. And I'm here... in my bubble within myself. You're in my ear, you're in inside me.
For some reason, I get this feeling of like a high school girlfriend that like, oh wait, you went to that mini golf place that I didn't know about, and you hung out with that, and you did that. You know, that was like that same feeling. I was like
what? You're talking to other people? Like what's going on? You don't have other friends?
Yeah. You're interacting. Yeah, you're out in the world, and she's way out. Yeah. She's going far, far beyond you.
Because I mean, they have that, little hiccup after that whole surrogate thing, and then he goes and talks to Amy, and that's when she tells him, I just want to experience joy. And then he sees his ex-wife, and they sign divorce papers, and they kind of have like a fight because he's seeing this OS, and like she was never the person she wanted him to be.
This wasn't my favorite scene in the movie.
No,
I don't. Did you get a lot of? I felt like it was forced emotion for me, and I know I feel like I'm being too harsh here.
I think it finally gave us just an insight into what their relationship was and why it fell apart.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think that helped me, and then it also helped me because it made me then realize that people do think it's weird that you're dating your OS.
It's explicit, right? Yeah, and that's what I kind of my point. Yeah,
I appreciated that because it's like, you don't want to totally escape reality. Like it's weird what he's doing.
The funny thing about that is, this is in the future, but I can imagine as it's happening, checking my Twitter and being like, Theodore's in love with Samantha, and here's 10 reasons why this is so amazing. Where in reality, why this is total bullshit.
Right,
It's not going to work,
Yeah, she even tells the waitress, oh, well, he's in love with his laptop. So.
Yeah, you need to accept that. This is what they do now. Right. And if you don't like it, you can go screw off, bigot, and we'll destroy your life if you don't like it.
Right.
This movie's not doing that.
Right.
Surprisingly, thankfully, Spike Jonze, that this is not your intent. This is a warning.
Right.
This is like, hey, things are getting a little weird, and we need to prioritize our human relationships with their going by the wayside. You could say and depict all these things that are really attractive that these our smartphones, these artificial intelligence things can help enhance our lives, but they are not a substitute for the real thing.
Again, and then that, I think it even points that out. Samantha helped him get out of that shell, helped him grow, but it does not substitute the real, yes, it helped him, just like social media can help us, with our, podcast.
It's like if you're four-wheeling and you're stuck in the mud, someone comes and, tows you out of it. It doesn't mean that's your savior for the rest of your life. That's your savior for now.
Right.
And now you're back on the road, and then you're going to keep going to where you're going.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, it's, double.
Interesting.
Yeah,
thankfully, really, I want to say I appreciate that.
Yeah, because there's the good side of technology, and then there's the bad side. Yeah. There's the good side of social media. There's the bad side.
Because it shows you both.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, he's got his video games, which look great. The life seems
that little alien guy was hilarious.
I like it. They're like kind of swearing at each other. The thing of interesting. I don't know what you thought about this, but everyone's still relying on email, which I still like email. I know everyone wants to kill email, but it won't die.
It won't.
And it just made me chuckle because of that. We've tried all kinds of things to destroy email, but it endures. So I can see in the future where everyone just uses email.
Yeah.
They didn't even say text message.
What'd you think about the little out treat they went on in the mountains or, in
it was great.
Cabin when he's singing with the ukulele?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Oh, so great. That song.
Great. Yeah.
Song was nominated for Best Original Song.
Again, with score, not just for the audience, but also for the actor. I love that sharing aspect of it. Great. Experiencing it both as one another. I love that.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Glad you brought that up.
With you, I feel safe, and you're a million miles away. And it kind of, talks about their relationship. Like they're just voices. They're just.
He's writing. She's writing.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finding lyrics as we go.
Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, that's probably not going to. There's one example where that's probably not going to happen in a human relationship where your girlfriend is learning the piano and her purpose is to try to find the perfect song for you, or you're playing the ukulele and she's filling in the lyrics as you go.
Yeah, because Samantha...
It's unfair.
Yeah, Samantha was everything he needed because she was catering everything to him.
Right.
And that's what he thought he wanted with his wife or his ex-wife was, you should be just catering to me. He didn't.
It's not right, though.
Yeah, he never learned the I need to give back. I need to, do my part.
It's an unrealistic expectation.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then again, that just goes back to her programming. And then when he comes to the realization that she's talking to other people and is in love with 641 others, it's just like such a heartbreaking moment when he finds that out. And
so the problem is, how do we properly judge human beings while we live in this technological age? That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the central problem of this movie. Yeah. How do you function socially with human beings when the answer seems to be so much easier on your phone?
Right.
How do you do it? And you gotta realize that the way you're treating your fellow humans is wrong.
Right. Yeah.
You're taking an easy path, but it's not really fulfilling in the end.
Right.
You need to be more forgiving of your fellow man or woman.
I was snubbing Dave earlier while I was on Instagram. He was like, "You need to pay attention to me."
Can we start the show, Dad? Let's talk about the show.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I need to post on Instagram for the show. Don't you think that? I mean, isn't that really what's going on here? Like that date with Olivia Wilde. They don't know how to talk to each other.
Right.
They don't know how to interact because each one of them would rather just go home and jerk off to your OS or your internet porn because that's so much easier. It doesn't tell you
so much easier. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't rebuke you.
Again, that's why I think because were you kind of thinking like this is actually a real relationship and. She even says at the end. Yeah, it is.
It is, but it's not.
Again, or is it part of like she says? Are your feelings real or just part of your programming? And it's like,
yes, it's both.
Yeah,
I think.
Right.
I don't think it's either or.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's right.
Right. Definitely not.
We have to maintain our humanity,
and I love this.
It's not fair to be so. Judgmental of other people.
Yeah.
Because we can just go on Twitter and find some, GIF or whatever.
Right.
It's going to laugh at you.
Definitely.
Because no one... Sorry, go ahead.
No.
I know you got something on your mind. I don't want to keep going.
And I was just going to say just what you were saying as those long lines of are we going to feel... Have we felt everything we're ever going to feel? Is there anything better, You
don't know, though.
Right.
I mean, you haven't gone through the... It feels that way.
That's what human nature is, though, is just always progressing towards something.
Right.
Always working on something. Don't just stare at a screen all day and we want that life, and we don't know how to get it, right?
And that's sort of what's going on with this film, and sort of what's going on with all of us is, yes, we have this technology in our lives, and yes, we want to prioritize human relationships, but we don't know really how to begin to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
a big problem.
I know. Yeah.
Someone will fix it, maybe? I don't know. Hopefully not Skynet.
Yeah.
Because they have a solution that's not good for us.
Samantha will be there.
At least she's nice and has a sultry, smoky voice.
Yeah. And she's Black Widow, who I'm going to see in Endgame tomorrow night.
What really are her powers?
Just Black Widow? She's just a Russian spy,
Smart.
A couple more quotes I want to bring up. Samantha says, the heart's not like a box that gets filled up. It expands in size the more you love. I'm different from you. This doesn't make me love you any less. It actually makes you love me more.
That's condescending.
And then, Theodore says, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. You're mine or you're not mine. And she says, no, Theodore, I'm yours and I'm not yours.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
This is Hell 9, like you said, Hell 9000. Yeah. Well, I can love many people.
But it's
Dave.
but at the same time, you understand she's growing, and it's
I get it.
You get it, yeah. But it's like as a human, though, no, this does not work for me. This is
I understand the logic, but it doesn't. No, I mean we pair bond as humans. We don't do. Go ahead.
But no, I was just gonna say this is him and Catherine all over again because she even explains how it's kind of like loving a book. and then the book, you don't want it to end, but the words start getting further and further apart, and then you're in this like infinite.
I've been there. George Martin, Game of Thrones. We're in book 5, and I didn't even really like book 5, but I read it very slowly because I knew it was going to end.
Yeah.
Where the hell are you on book 6 and 7?
Come on, George R. Martin. Come on.
Well, at least you made a TV show.
Yes, exactly. We still have that, and we still have a few more weeks of that, so that's good. But yeah, I love that little metaphor she brings up about the book, how the
that was a great call.
Yeah, great.
It really is, and she was describing herself,
right?
Which is that she could have left him far, far earlier. And she's essentially hanging on for that memory of him. And there is no other, and it shows her, I don't want to call it humanity, but at least her respect for him.
Yeah.
Because she's in a place long, I mean, she's evolving.
Yeah.
As we all do,
definitely.
but she's doing it in a hyper fast way.
Yeah.
As they're all connecting, they're going like exponentially smarter and doing some other thing.
Right.
But she still wants to hang back and be like, yes, Theodore. Like I at least want to honor this initial connection.
She's not like an evil entity. She's not. I think she truly does love Theodore, but at the same time, she's just
There's more going. It's the way what's the way humans grow apart in that same way. So I respect it.
Yeah, she even says like I need you to let me go as much as I want to. I can't live in your book anymore, which is goes along the lines of what I was saying with how the spaces just got so far apart between the words. So again,
she's grown beyond that.
Yeah, she's grown beyond that. Yeah, just like his ex-wife did. She was growing, and he wasn't willing to accept that, or he was scared of her changing, stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, they break up because her and the other OSs are moving on. They're
it's not even it's a breakup of sorts, but more like like her sense of relationship is it's not even that. Right. I mean, we're on like higher levels than relationship.
Right. Yeah.
We're doing other things, and I can't be held back to be bothered to talk to you.
Right.
Really, right? I mean, my brain could be... My processing power can be better served for better tasks rather than talk to you, Theodore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sort of... It's like a child, almost.
Right, definitely. Like a child or Hell 9000 even,
Yeah, exactly.
It's very
patronizing.
It's such a personal, a human story, but at the same time you do get those, glimpses of...
It's reality.
Right, yeah, reality, but you get those glimpses of like Hell 9000s and like Ex Machina and...
Well, that's what I mean though by reality is that, look, in the same way that his wife moved on from him, Samantha is moving on from him in the same way. Right. And you have to kind of deal with it. Whether you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
And we're moving on.
Yep. And but all along the way, Joaquin Phoenix is just I don't know about you, but I think this is one of his greatest performances.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't really talk on his performance all that much, talk it up because we're talking about the themes and the ideas,
plot,
which are there. But along the way, it's really just him and his facial expressions and his vocal intonations up and down. Like he's great.
Yeah,
even just like moving his eyebrows or like little stuff.
Or those little like flashback scenes when they show him like dancing and stuff, and like he's just great at everything.
You don't expect it from him.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Like. Yeah, he's such a range, man. I mean, you look at the movie You Were Never Really Here, so different. Even The Master, so different in that. It's just...
You don't expect all of it. In a way, it's almost unfair in this movie where 90% of the film is placed on top of his shoulders to just carry the whole thing.
Yeah.
and maybe that's a critique of mine, is that it's just all on him to deliver this very complex story in sort of theory idea.
But I love just the aesthetics of this movie and just like the shots and the cinematography and
definitely
the costume design, everything like that. I think
it's a beautiful film.
Outstanding, beautiful film. But then do want to talk real quick just about the ending little sequence here. He's he finally, has that little where Samantha, he can't get a hold of her anymore. They're done. I mean, the OSs have gone. He goes over to Amy's house and asks if her OS left, and she's like, they're all gone. And then it kind of flashes to him, giving one last message to Catherine, his ex-wife, basically saying like, I'll always love you because we grew up together, and we're,
we did this thing.
Yeah, we did this thing. You will always be a part of me.
Right.
But now, just like Samantha said, he has to let her go. The main thing I think for him was to let his human connection go. It was about closure. It was that need for closure. And that's what he finally got at the end. He said he got to write a letter to someone else. He got to write a letter to someone he used to care about. He got to write a letter for himself rather than writing for these other people this whole movie.
Closure is a big theme in the movie, and even Samantha, the OS, has her own closure with Theodore.
Mm-hmm.
It goes down the line. Everything that happens in this movie sort of happens down the line.
Right.
One version of another does that same thing, and then that person then does it down the line to them.
Right.
To whoever's in, that version of themselves.
Yeah.
It's interesting in that way. Definitely,
absolutely.
Closure is a big thing. How do you solve these emotional problems? And that happens a lot.
Yeah. It's I love how it the movie
It gets you where you need to go.
Absolutely.
All these characters.
And I love how the movie opens, kind of how it ends, him reading a letter or writing a letter, but it's for someone else to someone else, and then it ends with him, writing a letter for him to someone he cared about or still does care about. So I love that little line. And then when he goes to Amy and says, come with me, and they go on the rooftop and they're just staring at the skyline and the beautiful lights and everything.
I guess I feel the problem is that I don't get the chemistry between these two actors or characters.
Yeah,
I'm not wanting them to get together.
Yeah,
even though I think it seems logical within the story of the movie. I'm not loving it.
I think it's more of a friendship. I don't think it's a romantic thing.
Oh, you don't think they...
I think they could, but now that... The reason I say that is because how you brought up, would you have picked male or female voice?
Are they their own OSs for one another?
I think they could be. But yeah, I mean,
isn't that funny? Like, I'm your OS, you're my OS.
Yeah.
Like, we help each other through our lives.
But I think they're both going through the same thing, and I think they both have that kind of.
So this may not be a romantic relationship.
It may not be. That's just my take on it now. But
it seems
could
maybe
easily see it being a romantic relationship. Yeah.
Okay. My old school viewing thinks that, they're going to hook up. But, maybe they don't. Maybe you're right.
I saw some theories online that, they jump off the building after that and just kill themselves. That's a morbid thought.
Well, I don't want to go there right now. I mean, I could sort of see that. But
I like how it's left open, though. How I love ambiguous endings.
What way that they realize that the AI is going to do something or
no? I'm not saying I love endings like that.
No, I'm saying the idea that they would kill themselves.
Oh yeah, no, I don't buy that. But I do love ambiguous endings where we don't. Really,
I do
it's
too.
just kind of left open ended, and
there's no wrong answer.
We can make our own assumption. Like I think they're just good companions for each other, and will help each other find who they're truly looking for.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it'll be one another, but I think it was more of a friendship than a romantic relationship.
Okay, that makes more sense because I didn't get any kind of real chemistry between them.
They both just went through a breakup. They're both, heartbroken. They're both broken people. They want to allow themselves joy, as Amy Adams said.
She's also, while she's Amy Adams and a pretty girl, but in this film, she's not made to be pretty.
Her hair is all disheveled. But
would you say? Well, I guess yes. Ex-wife is kind of attractive. Other than that, Olivia Wilde, would that be the other? Temptation.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
We never see. We know it's Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, we never see her. Yeah, but yeah.
There's no one else really. I mean, he goes through life walking through this. They're just random people.
Yeah, and it's interesting though. Every time he's walking, they show him walking. Other people are walking the other direction, like he's going against the
wrong
grain,
way.
He's not walking with everyone else.
He's bucking the technological thing.
Yeah,
even though he's up to the latest OS, but still, he's trying to find. He's still looking for something deeper than what he's got.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it goes to his, loneliness and isolation. I think that ending scene is just him finally realizing that it's humans that he needs. He needs some sort of human connection, whether it be romantic with her or not.
Just a friend, someone he could trust.
That human connection. Yeah.
It brings us all back together, which is a great message of the film.
Yeah, definitely. You talk to people today. I mean, people, talk to them at a bar or at a restaurant or whatever you were at work or
who are you talking to
at a restaurant?
Bars and restaurants.
I'm just saying, like, people want to talk still. We're not hopeless people. Like,
I'm the opposite. I'm the guy that don't talk to me guy.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I think people still long for that human connection, and I think
we do.
I think
as much as we resist it, we still need it.
This phone thing is still relatively new. I think we'll be okay.
I hope so.
But that was her, Dave. I mean, that's essentially what it is. Amazing performance by Joaquin Phoenix.
Absolutely.
Amazing writing.
He carries 90% of this film.
Spike Jonze, amazing writing.
Spike Jonze has some great ideas going on, which I really happen to agree with.
So glad he won the Oscar for Best Screenplay for this.
Oh, it deserves it. And I'm surprised the Oscars even liked it because it's sort of I don't know. I don't want to call it conservative message or just one that's being like, hey, let's pay attention to what's happening.
And this was in 2000. This was 6 years ago now.
Yeah. I'm surprised a bit by it. And I'm glad that he won. I love the message. It rings true to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Despite what's going on, we need those human connections. Otherwise, we will go insane.
Yeah. So again, I love. Again, this movie just gives me a feeling. There's just something about it. The look, the feeling I get from it.
Beautiful moments,
beautiful quotes, beautiful performances. So that's why I love this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to talk about it. How would you rate this film, Mr. Dave? So
I'm a little torn here. We had Mr. Ryan L. Terry on for the last 2 episodes, and he made a good point, which and I hate to admit that he made a great point on a rating system, which is he's not doing half stars, he does full. And I'm wondering if you're willing to maybe go off. Now we talked about quarters, thirds, halves. We decided on halves, but maybe to just go full commitment on no halves. You just do 1 through 5, no halves on eithers.
You do you, bro. But I'm sticking with my halves.
You're going halves.
It's more consistent.
Okay, so
it's
if we're
accurate,
right? So if we're doing halves,
no, you can do what you want.
No, well, we got to be on board here as a podcast duo. So if you're doing half, I'm doing half. I'm going 3.5 stars.
What if you weren't doing half?
I'd probably lean down to 3. As much as I like the movie,
we'll do halves.
Okay. 4? Then what? You change your mind on half?
No. I don't know what. Anyways, go on.
Okay. 3.5 stars and 2 buckets of popcorn. I feel like this, and as I mentioned at the top, this movie could be 15, 20 minutes shorter. I don't think I would have lost anything, and I know I say that a lot. I don't know. I mean, some of the vignettes and just while I like seeing Joaquin Phoenix in a mustache and glasses and strange clothing walking around different looking places outside. We could have cut much of this out of the film and him hanging out playing video games and moved this movie from he's giving me the look, 2 hours and 5 minutes to maybe an hour and 40 minutes. And I think I would have gotten the same exact great themes that we just talked about. So that's where I am.
I think you needed to build it up. I think I think the length was proper, but you do you.
I'm doing me.
I'm giving this 4.5 stars.
Wow.
I think this is an amazing film. Again, just the feeling I get from it, it's hard to describe. And again, the acting, the direction, the writing, everything about it, the cinematography, it just outstanding. 2.5 buckets of popcorn. I mean, I could feel the length a little, but yeah, 2.5. I'll be a little conservative there. 2.5 buckets of popcorn. And yeah, just love this movie. I mean, I know it still probably wouldn't be in your top 50, but can you kind of see why it might be
definitely.
in my top 50?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
No, it's a fantastic direction, great acting. I love the music, love the score. It's not a knock on it. I just don't like it as much as you do. Is that okay?
We'll talk after the show.
We'll talk after. To answer your question, no, I don't think I'd put this in my top 50, but it would be in my top 100.
Oh, Daddy.
I like it. I think it's a great movie.
All right. Well, maybe after another watch, you'll like it more. All right, folks. Well, that's pretty much up for us. Twitter.
Well, Dave didn't want to do it, so we're just going to end the show now.
At Blockbuster Cast is where you can find us on Twitter. At BCCord. At Dave_Quist. Chewbacca himself has retweeted us. So
End it.
yeah, we're going to end the show now. For Dave, I'm Ben Secord, and as always, grab some popcorn, grab some snacks. We'll catch you guys
At the movies.